Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today I want to clear something up that is clearly not landing the way I intended in my original video set regarding vision statements. A vision statement is not a technical document, and it's not a mini requirement spec. It's not a literature review, and it is definitely not an academic report. A vision statement is supposed to be a directional anchor. If you're writing something that sounds like you're trying to impress me with vocabulary or prove that you understand the technical aspect of your project, there's a good chance that you're doing it wrong. So let's fix that. A vision statement answers 3 core questions. Who is this for? What meaningful problem are we solving? And what change will exist because our product exists? That's it. It's not about implementation or architecture. It's definitely not about frameworks or algorithms. If I can see class names or API details starting to creep in, then you've definitely gone too technical. If I can replace your product name with literally any other app in the world and it would still make sense, then your vision is too vague. Now, of course, I understand within this course that we aren't going to revolutionize a domain, but we can still talk about the things that make our version, our product really awesome. Here's an example of a non-vision statement. Our system leverages a multi-layered architecture with working data storage to deliver a robust and scalable solution to, and then whatever the problem is. It sounds very impressive, but it also sounds like you're trying to convince me that you've taken programming classes before and that you know what a database is. This is completely empty. This statement has no person or problem. There's no real tension that you're describing and what you're trying to solve, right? There's really no reason why the product that you're making should exist. All you've really given me is architecture vocabulary. This application provides users with functionality to manage tasks efficiently through our easy-to-use interface. This one reads pretty harmless, but it's still not a correct vision statement. What users are we talking about? What tasks? And why do they need help? What's going wrong right now? And what exactly is the problem that we're trying to fix? This vision statement is still far too vague. Here's an example of an opening sentence for a vision statement. We help overwhelmed university students keep track of assignment deadlines across all their courses, so they stop missing submissions. In one sentence, we get all of the answers that we're looking for. Who are the users? They're university students. What tasks? We're tracking deadlines. Why do they need help? Because they are overwhelmed right now. And what is going wrong that we are actually trying to help fix? Well, they keep missing submission deadlines, and we want to help them with that. Here's the real key distinction between those two vision statements. We have the sort of reporting style, academic style statements, and things that actually sound human. There's a difference between saying the system will and what students can do, or the architecture supports and onboarding new users feel whatever. The application enables efficient data processing, and small businesses stop worrying about certain things. One is talking about software and one is talking about people. Our vision statements should always be talking about people. Now, we might be asking ourselves, why does this even matter, right? We still have to build the thing. And this is because our vision statement should be driving our decisions. When we're deciding what features need to get cut, which edge cases matter, and whether something is worth our time to do, we should be thinking about our vision statement. You should be able to ask yourself, does this move us closer to our vision? Every time that you try and think about a new feature or a new idea, or you're brainstorming enhancements for your project. If your vision is vague or technical or bloated, it can't really help us guide these value-driven decisions. A good vision statement helps us say no when an idea would stray too far from what it is we're trying to produce. Now, a strong vision statement has 4 components to it: a target user, a core problem, a desired outcome, and the emotional or practical impact. For example, for some target user, we provide whatever the solution is so they can achieve whatever the outcome is without whatever the problem is, right? Trying to deal with that emotional or practical impact. Notice what's missing from here. There's no mention of databases or APIs. There's no model diagrams, there's no flow, there's no technical stack at all. All of that will come later. This is kind of like what I go through when I try to make an assignment. When I make an assignment, I start with the vision of the assignment, and then I figure out the implementation details later. I don't ever start just at implementation. Now, as students, you're used to starting at implementation. But now I'm asking you to take a step back and be the planners for your project as well. Here are two different examples between a weak and a strong vision statement. Our system is a task management application that allows users to create, edit, and delete tasks with persistent storage. Even just the create, edit, and delete tasks is not particularly specific. It's incredibly vague. Instead, going back to our strong vision statement, we help overwhelmed university students stay on top of deadlines so they feel in control instead of constantly behind. Now, when we look at features, we can ask ourselves questions like, does the feature we're discussing reduce their overwhelmed feelings? Are we moving toward sort of implementing our vision? Will this feature help make deadlines clearer? Will this help students feel more in control? Those are the questions that we want to be able to answer thanks to writing a concrete vision statement. Here are some common mistakes and patterns that you probably want to avoid. We want to make sure we're not just listing out features. We want to make sure that we're stating each one's purpose. We also don't want to write in third person or with an academic tone. It's supposed to sound human. Any amount of technical vocabulary is usually wrong. There's a bit of a blur right now in the world between what would be considered overly technical. So just take care not to overuse technical vocabulary. If your grandma couldn't understand what your product is trying to accomplish, then it's probably not clear enough. We also want to make sure that we're not being so generic that it could apply to any app that lives in the same domain as your project. Finally, it's really important to be clear over complex. Trying to sound too professional can reduce the clarity of your statement, and that's a huge problem because then if I can't read it, I don't really know what direction your project is supposed to be going in. We want to aim for clarity over sophistication. The main takeaway is that a vision statement is not documentation or an explanation of how your software works. We want this to be a compass, and we want it to be clear, human, focused, and directional. You want your vision statement to clearly convey why your product is valuable. That's the standard we're trying to set. If it resembles a grant proposal or it reads like a README, you probably want to revise it. If the language seems like you'd be trying to impress somebody with the technical terms or the fancy structure of your sentences, revise it. Your vision statement should clearly convey what makes your product important and why it's valuable to be working on. And yes, like I said, we're not reinventing the wheel here, but you can still explain why this product that you're making deserves to exist. Thanks, everyone, and hopefully this helps clear up the idea of a vision statement or a vision document and sort of help you in your journey to craft this statement for your own projects.